This is my cognitive linguistic on-call notebook. My name is Sheena Bergeron. Read the statement. All of the activities in this on-call notebook are suitable for any individuals requiring treatment regardless of race, socioeconomic status, gender, language, or pre-injury education. None of the activities contain gender or cultural biases, making them appropriate for any client. All activities target one or multiple cognitive functions under one of the 5 cognitive domains. None of the activities contain any cultural, religious, or holiday themes which may impact their appropriateness for any individual. None of the activities are gender-specific, regionally specific, or culturally specific. Severity of injury may impact one's ability to complete any given task in the binder. Professional judgment would be used to decide the appropriateness based on severity of impairment, and when possible, adjustments would be made to make materials accessible to individuals. This binder was created with varying levels of severity in mind. As such, tasks range from inappropriateness from mildly impaired to severely impaired. Each section's labeled. So this is the memory section. This is the severely impaired activity, basically a bunch of card games, and the first one being remembering 4 cards in a row or 3 cards in a row. So pretty simple. These are memory tasks, basically remembering a group of words. Sequential memory for following directions. Memory of 5-unit sequences using words. Memory of 3 and 4-unit sequences using numbers. These are number and sentences, repeating numbers and sentences for memory. This is a functional memory task using paragraphs. This would be used for maybe a severely impaired client who was having difficulties remembering personal facts. This is also helpful for a severely impaired client or moderately impaired client who would have difficulties remembering things that happen from day to day. This is a visual memory activity using pictures and asking questions based off the pictures. Chaining activity. This is the directions for a memory notebook. In each section, I also tried to make it more functional for myself, so I included some tips, strategies, maybe some goals for each domain just to help with therapy. Practice exercises for memory, compensation strategies, the different types of memory, a visual aid, memory techniques, more just handouts on memory and how to approach it in treatment, and some baseline goals for memory. I also put these handouts in that were provided in class on memory training. And then some more goal writing support. And for the assessment, I put the slums in for memory. Visual spatial processing. So the severely impaired, this is just put an X inside each box. Some more easy tasks would be identifying each shape, identifying letters. It gets a little bit harder putting X's inside smaller boxes and more of them. There's a maze, identifying the longest line, some cancellation activities, circle the stars, or circle the diamonds, or circle the raindrops. Same thing, arrows with directions, circle one or the other. An activity for using maps. Circling the items that are different, words that are different, placing the X in the box so you win the game, so some tic-tac-toe, circling K and O, draw a line matching each shape, draw line matching words, circling specific words in paragraphs, more cancellation activities of various degrees, simple material, stimulus material for copying, but very specific ways based off of the lines for visual processing. Then, of course, I have some more helpful things for therapy, so goals for visual scanning, more goal writing support, and then I put the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, the MOCA, in for visual spatial. Here's my attention section. This would be my severely impaired. So divided attention, only red cards, only black cards. So simple, and then you get a little bit more difficult. Completing the graphomotor patterns, you got to sustain some attention. And then this is stating each step involved in each task in detail. So planning out each task and writing down the steps. Some more card game ideas for attention. Selective attention activity, where you're basically tracking different tasks and then documenting things that may distract you and things that you can do to help yourself get over those distractions. So here's an example of a completed chart. Auditory selective attention activity using words. Divided attention activity, trail activity, alternating attention in math, switching back and forth between addition and subtraction. Divided attention activity, and this is basically another chart to help you with divided attention, support you in improving that. Alternating attention, visual selective attention. So picking out all of the words that are big in capitals, or all of the words that are big in all of the words that are capital littles. The end back procedures activity, and then some more handouts for me as the therapist, describing each kind of attention, strategies for helping attention. I have some sample goals in here for attention. And then the trail making test is my assessment for attention. Language, severely impaired, simply matching the words to the pictures. Using words in the box to fill in each blank. So using your lingual skills to fill in the blanks. These are which item is being described by the clue words. So some inferring with language. Categorization with language. Scrambled sentences, syntax and grammatical forms. Unscrambling each word. Paraphrasing and summarizing. Understanding and applying information. And then here's some basically some sayings. So you're like a fill in the blank on some of these sayings. Placing a word or phrase in each sentence that doesn't make sense. So some incongruent sentence activities, some analogies, and then again some goal examples for spoken and expressive. And then the cognitive linguistic quick test is what I chose for the test or the assessment in that area. Executive functioning. And I have some basically we're using some prior knowledge and assessing, categorizing, or actually putting them in order from slowest to fastest. But I'm using prior knowledge about these different things. So that's basic, probably more severe, hopefully using some of that prior knowledge to analyze this task and be able to complete it appropriately. And then we have some more cognitive functioning tasks, mapping some things out based off of solving this problem. Making a schedule based off of this information, trying to problem solve for schedule planning, making inferences, evaluating